It is quite evident that Pakistan chose to highlight the Kashmir Solidarity Day, as more than often Pakistan PM sends a video message and army chief often confines himself to routine statements. The pièce de résistance on February 5 was the presence of Hamas spokesperson Dr. Khalid Al-Qadoumi, Dr. Naji Zahir, apart from Hamas leaders Mufti Azam and Bilal Al-Salat, at the Rawalpindi rally attended by Jaish-e-Mohammed leader Masood Azhar's brother Tala Saif. The conference titled Kashmir Solidarity and Hamas Operation Al-Aqsa Flood was designed to convey that both Kashmir and Palestine were subjects for Pan-Islamic Jihad. The joining of hands of Hamas and Pakistani Punjabi jihadists also brings clarity to the Modi government, as a new tactic is being adopted by the Pan-Islamic jihadist. Namaskar. Kashmir Solidarity Day is a calendar event celebrated in Pakistan on February 5 by both Rawalpindi headquarters and Islamabad to keep up the delusion that the Islamic Republic will one day rule the Muslim majority Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir. Since 2004, the day is used by Pakistani politicians, generals and jihadists to make inflammatory speeches against India and remind their supporters and pro-Pak jihadists in the Kashmir Valley that their dream of uniting with Islamabad will bear fruit one day, all in the name of Kashmiri independence. And so what if the Narendra Modi government has thrown Article 370 and Article 35A into the dustbin of history on August 5, 2019, and peace, tranquility has been restored in the Union Territory of India, with law and order parameters in the valley working outright in the favor of the Modi government, and the terror attacks by Pakistan-based terror groups on decline. Pakistan decided to up the ante with Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif, Army Chief Syed Asim Munir and terror leaders from Jaish-e-Mohammed, Lashkar-e-Taiba, Hizbul Mujahideen and Kashmiri prop JKLF making a beeline to Pakistan-occupied Kashmir on Wednesday. But the pièce de résistance on February 5 was the presence of Hamas spokesperson Dr. Khalid Al-Qadoumi, Dr. Naji Zahir, apart from Hamas leaders Mufti Azam and Bilal Al-Salat, at the Rawalpindi rally attended by Jaish-e-Mohammed leader Masood Azhar's brother Tala Saif, launching commanders Asghar Ali Kashmiri, Masood Ilyas and top elite terror commanders. The conference titled Kashmir Solidarity and Hamas Operation Al-Aqsa Flood was designed to convey that both Kashmir and Palestine were subjects for Pan-Islamic Jihad, and also asked the Ummah to unite against India and Israel on the victimhood card. While the Pakistan-based Punjabi terrorist groups have been responsible for the death of thousands in the Kashmir Valley since the 1990s, the Sunni Hamas terrorist group, backed by Shia Iran, was responsible for the October 7, 2023 butchery that took place in South Israel, with 1,200 massacred, hundreds maimed, and over 200 captured as war booty. India had openly condemned the October 7 terror attack by Hamas group and also at the same time asked Israel to work for a two-state solution. On Wednesday, Pakistan PM Shehbaz Sharif, Army Chief Asim Munir went to Muzaffarabad to communicate to India that its Kashmir agenda was still alive and boost the confidence of the deployed troopers that Rawalpindi had enough military firepower to stand up against India. That Pakistan chose to highlight the Kashmir Solidarity Day, as more than often Pakistan PM sends a video message and army chief often confines himself to routine statements. Behind the veneer of PM Sharif wanting a dialogue with India over Kashmir, the fact is that Indian intelligence is reporting no less than 80 to 100 foreign terrorists assembled on launch pads in Jammu and Kashmir to create mayhem in India this summer. With the counterinsurgency grid tight in Jammu and Kashmir, the Pakistani jihadists will make all efforts to infiltrate into the valley and cause violent disruption, but the Indian security forces are determined to neutralize them. The other reason for the jihadist Pakistan PM, Chief of Army Staff, to assemble in occupied Kashmir with Hamas guests was to boost local jihadi recruitment in the so-called Azad Kashmir in the name of Ummah and the Pan-Islamic jihadi cause. Fact is that the local recruitment has dried up for the Islamic Jihad in occupied Kashmir. There has been serious unrest against Pakistan in the occupied territory, with the locals even willing to take on the Pakistan security forces, with frequent protest being the order of the day. That Hamas and Palestinian leaders were seen to be sharing a platform with Pakistani Sunni jihadists, that Palestinian political leaders have decided to pitch their lot with the so-called Kashmir cause, as they believe that India has gone the Israel way. The joining of hands of Hamas and Pakistani Punjabi jihadists also brings clarity to the Modi government, as a new tactic is being adopted by the Pan-Islamic jihadists to draw more cannon fodder from the occupied Kashmir and the Khyber Pakhtunkhwa region. The Hamas leaders in Rawalakot were expressing solidarity with Pakistani jihadists at the same time when President Donald Trump was advocating the US radical plan to take over Gaza, with Palestinians being sent to live in neighboring Jordan and Egypt. While both Jordan and Egypt have vehemently rejected the Trump-Gaza proposal, the topic definitely will come under the microscope when Jordan King Abdullah meets the US President on February 11th. The presence of Hamas leaders along with Jaish, Lashkar and Hizbul terrorists in Rawalakot reinforces the stamp of the global terror factory on Pakistan, as well as shoots down the Rawalpindi narrative that the political struggle for determination was going on in the valley. This is clearly state-sponsored terrorism in Jammu and Kashmir, with Islamabad still to complete the unfinished agenda of the bloody partition of India in 1947. The Kashmiri carrot also helps the Pakistani politicians and generals to divert the mind of its citizens who are currently grappling with high food inflation, religious violence, terror attacks, and deep political instability. Globally, Pakistan today stands as a symbol of Islamic Jihad, political Islam, rabid clergy, and violence. Further, unlike in the previous UPA regime, Pakistan supporters in India and its left liberal media no longer have the clout to pressurize the Modi government to open a dialogue with Pakistan. With the exception of its all-weather ally China, Pakistan hardly finds any political traction in the West over Kashmir, as the US has no appetite for the cindering AfPak region after August 15, 2021 capture of Kabul by the Taliban. While New Delhi has taken note of Pakistan ramping up Rag Kashmiri again, it has no intentions whatsoever of engaging with Islamabad till it turns off the terror tap against India, and by bringing terror leaders like Masood Azhar and Hafiz Saeed to book for spilling the blood of innocents in India. Given Pakistani hatred for India, one should not be surprised if the entire February 5 exercise was high-profiled deliberately to bring the Kashmir issue to the notice of the new Republican administration in Washington, with President Trump scheduled to meet Prime Minister Narendra Modi February 13th after the Indian PM co-chairs an artificial intelligence summit in France. Simply put, while Pakistan is still stuck in the Kashmir illusion and the pre-August 5, 2019 mindset, India has moved on to different levels economically, politically, and militarily on the global map. Even Pakistan's main weapon of terror has been blunted to a large extent by the Narendra Modi government, as any Rawalpindi-sponsored terror attack in India will get a bigger, sharper, and deeper response across the Radcliffe Line. Do you remember surgical strikes and Operation Bandar in Rawalakot? Namaskar.